Our world has been shaped by technology. From the primitive tools of the Stone Age to advancements in robotics and engineering, technology has revolutionized humanity. Thomas Carlyle once said that man is a tool-using animal. Without tools, he is nothing. With tools, he is all. Technology is the tool of the modern man. With it, he can live longer and live better. Civilization has become clean and healthy as a result of advanced medicine and sanitation. Electricity defies the darkness of night and lights up the globe. Progress in communication has connected mankind in ways never experienced before. But by far, the marriage of technology and education has been one of the most important developments in history. This has vastly expanded the scope of what is available to study and the means by which humanity can research and analyze its environment, enabling man to pursue advancements previously thought impossible. Education hinges on the material being taught. Without subject matter, education can only go so far.
I'm always telling my students, no matter what technology you have, you always have to look at your answer and see, does it make sense? And part of being able to answer that question is understanding your subject in the first place.
This is where technology has drastically changed education, both in and out of the classroom. The sciences have opened up the vast realms of the physical world. People can now study highly advanced forms of mathematics and medicine. The human body is being explored down to the tiniest fragments of DNA. Chemistry and biology are reaching entirely new levels. The writings of the English student can be critiqued and examined by people across the globe. It is technology that has sprung open the deep wells of possibility within education.
Restriction enzymes are molecular scissors that can cut DNA molecules into fragments the same way every time, so that you could delve into analyzing and characterizing genes. This was one of the very first advances of our modern age. When I was in college, nobody had ever heard of that at all. When I graduated, nobody around me had heard of that, but immediately the face of biology started to change that year.
And now, because of technology, particularly the computer age and the internet age, has just within the time, not just within my lifetime, but the time I've been working on theater, caused a huge leap in the sharing of information and ideas. Having that internet, being able to go and connect to 17 different people all for free and be able to see these ideas work, these ideas don't. It changes immeasurably just the way people go about the theater.
When I started teaching at Union in 1993, we didn't even have internet yet. We barely had what we thought we had arrived with computers that I think, if I recall correctly, had 840K of RAM. So you did not have extraordinary. And when we finally got internet here, it was extraordinary. If you went to a page that had a picture on it, it was extraordinarily slow. Now that sounds like the old days to students who are freshmen and sophomores, even seniors today, because they're used to such extraordinary high-speed internet capabilities. But our ability to be able to communicate instantly with people when we need to get messages across. You don't have to call on a phone and leave a message and hope to get somebody back, because a lot of people are able to answer it straight from their phone.
So there can be no doubt about the massive social good that technology brings with it when it's used, strategically.
While technology continues to expand across the globe and in the classroom, some still argue that while it has potential for great good, it can also hinder the learning environment.
While I take the philosophical position that the technology is almost always value neutral, there are some who actually say that technology itself has some inherent evil attached to it. I don't take that view at all, but I do understand and realize that technology can be used for good or for evil, and the same technology that allows us to be so interconnected has also given rise to so many dangerous things.
Technology can be tools to make getting concepts across easier, but the technology isn't going to guarantee that we understand the concept.
Social media is an entirely new form of education and communication. The problem with social media in the scholastic environment is that it creates an immense distraction for students, both in and out of class, and has the potential to damage basic social skills.
So things like Twitter, where you can only use 140 characters, what can you possibly say in 140 characters that is going to be in any way meaningful? That isn't something people have already heard 1,700 times.
These things are great. They can be educational. They can do many things to open up our horizons across the globe, and they can happen instantly. We can talk to somebody, we can chat with somebody. Skype opens the ability to talk to people thousands of miles away instantly. But it's how do we use them, and for what purposes do we use them as educators, as consumers, and as students. And the whole equation that Dave Richardson talked about in 1978 is the same thing when it applies to all the toys that we have now. And that is, they are fabulous. They do many things for us that we could never do before, but as long as we use them wisely as opposed to letting them use us.
Sometimes technology actually can be a barrier to that kind of the advantages of synchronous communication. Like, for example, just as a side rant, I think Steve Jobs was with me. I hate email. I think it's a terrible way to communicate because it loses nonverbal communication. It's tyrannically linear, and it takes a long time to respond. But if you have something like a real-time conversation happening, and you can expand the number of people who are wise about something contributing to a conversation with the benefit of, nonverbal communication, that is a tremendous advance in the history of human civilization, I think.
While technology has the ability to interfere with education, the benefits of using it correctly are immensely greater than the dangers. Technology has drastically changed how people study. Paper and pencil, in their earliest forms, changed education from a purely verbal and physical process into a written one. People could write down their subject matter and study it later. The invention of mass-produced books let people all across the world study the same thing. Not too long ago, people had to go to a library in order to research a subject. But with the rise of the internet, this wealth of information has been made readily available on laptops, smartphones, and tablets. Now one can possess a near endless source of knowledge in their back pocket.
If you think about that scene, some of those scenes in Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, and the Star Wars films, you can have a situation where you've got a Jedi Council, and they're synchronous in one location, but you can have, Obi-Wan be on a completely different planet, talking in real time with a great body of wisdom in a synchronous fashion. And so we're just now getting to the point where that's becoming possible.
I feel like the students are able to get more current information, more state-of-the-art information than they could get any other way. If that in the past it was perhaps old information that we could get. Today it's all the latest information, very easily obtained through technology.
But the technology of being able to do a calculation, show it on screen, and show a graph of it on the screen, and then talk about that, and then go in and live time in the classroom, make changes and have them see those changes show up. That has just revolutionized teaching in general, especially in the sciences.
If you don't use technology as a tool in the classroom, whether you're doing a conventional lecture style or whether you are doing something that we do here in what I call the toy store of life in a television studio, you frankly are going to be left behind, because whereas the art of teaching does not change, if you're going to be able to hold and motivate an audience of younger people that this is their generation and the tools that they have learned, that this is how they function, how they study, how they communicate, then you're going to lose them.
There are apps being developed for the iPhone and the iPad that do things like help people in third world areas diagnose illnesses. They do some amazing things. They have some applications that allow you to study all sorts of things that previously would have required some specialized equipment. Now, often the data collected through those apps has to be sent somewhere where there's specialized equipment, but again, the phone is able to do all of that. So it's not only that it makes our lives convenient and helps us do the things we normally do and like to do, but it has the potential through this ability to just write apps, and people write apps for the iPhone all the time, some catch on, some don't. But that open source nature of contributing apps and then making apps that are really useful for mankind is phenomenal.
With these advancements in technology and communication, education has seemingly infinite outlets and possibilities. We live in a changing world. As technology continues to advance, the face of how we live and learn is evolving. In the human experience, education is vital, enabling humanity to make wise decisions and act in the interest of one another.
It's the liberal arts that actually are the core content that keeps a people free. Like, if you know about these fundamental things and disciplines, that's what creates economic liberty and political liberty, and causes democracies to flourish. So education is a bulwark against tyranny.
The integration and expansion of technology within the realm of education is the key to human flourishing. Applying the sciences to the classroom makes learning deeper and more expansive, creating an enlightened and insightful population that is ready to meet the challenges of the future. Humanity has come a long way since its birth, and with the progress technology has provided, one can only imagine where we will go in the years to come. The possibilities are endless.